Hey guys, I'm Malio, president of Tezos India Foundation. And our entire team in Tezos India and TZ Epic in Asia Pacific are really looking forward to what kind of projects you build using Tezos Python SDKs. Thank you guys.
Hello everyone, welcome to Smartpy session. Today's speaker will be Om. Om is co-founder and director of Tezos India. He has also co-founded a tech startup, Tezsure, which contributes to open source Tezos tech ecosystem and community. Prior to that, Om has been deeply rooted in blockchain sector in India for last 5 years and co-founded India's first blockchain and crypto analysis media portal, ItsBlockchain. So I will pass it to him now.
Hi everyone. Thanks for the introduction, Jay. So I'm really glad to be here, and I heard great things about PyCon, and I'm really excited to see what kind of projects and ideas you guys build. But today I'm going to be talking about what is Smartpy. And yesterday, while building the some slides and text, I also realized that I need to also speak a little bit about what is Tezos, what is blockchain, and give you a brief overview of what is Smartpy, and kind of maybe I hope it will help you to get on board with Smartpy, and you will be able to write some smart contracts and build your own projects on Tezos blockchain. So during this session, I'm going to take you through just a short description of various concepts in blockchain and Smartpy, how it works, and what are the best ways to learn it. I'm going to give you an interactive link to an interactive coding arena where you can learn Smartpy and Tezos in less than 2 hours. I know you have hackathon, so you shouldn't be spending more than an hour or hour and a half on learning things. So that's going to help you a lot in understanding the basics of Tezos blockchain and basics of Smartpy. And once you are done with that, you can use the other tools that we have to build your project, or any idea that you have. We at Tezos, Epic and Tezos India, we are really excited to see what kind of projects you build, obviously, and we are also happy to if any great idea or great project comes out of this hackathon, we are happy to stay in touch and help you guys build that sort of project forward, and by providing you any kind of developer resources or any help or mentorship that is required. So let me start by sharing my screen, which is today's session is about Smartpy when Python gets smarter on Tezos. But we are also going to be talking about what is Tezos, and how what are the things that happen in Tezos. So if you have any questions, you can always ask me. Uh, let's get going. Smartpy when Python gets smarter on Tezos. So Smartpy is nothing but a Python library. So I assume most of you guys already know Python. So you're not gonna have any hiccups or any hard time writing code using Smartpy. But the main thing is about understanding the concepts that what is Smartpy doing, how it is interacting with Tezos blockchain, and what are some elements of the blockchain on Tezos. So first, let's dive into what is Tezos. I'm sure most of you or some of you have heard about Bitcoin or Ethereum or any other blockchain names. So think of Tezos as something similar to Bitcoin. So Bitcoin is a cryptocurrency. Uh, which makes it which enables borderless transaction capabilities, and and then Bitcoin also enables some multiple kinds of transaction processing using its own language, which is called script. But it has very limited functionalities. Bitcoin is very limited in terms of what a cryptocurrency can do. So after Bitcoin in 2014, the founder of Tezos, when they were looking into Bitcoin space and observing all the limitations of Bitcoin and all the problems that it might face in the future or it was already facing, they came up with the idea of Tezos. So you can look at Tezos or Bitcoin in from two fronts. So Tezos is a cryptocurrency which enables borderless transaction capabilities, and it also enables smart contracts. So basically it becomes a programmable money, and you can program this money up to very up, up to your imagination. So I mean, there is no limit to what you can build or what you can implement using Tezos. Uh, as it's the language of Tezos Michelson, it is a Turing complete language. Or you can look at it into a way that Tezos is simply a blockchain which enables self-amendment capability. Self-amendment made the Tezos software upgrade itself using on-chain governance and provides a way to formally verify smart contracts. So now what does this mean is Tezos is a blockchain where its core software upgrade itself automatically using a voting process, sort of like how it happens in parliaments and in governance. And it also provides a way, so Tezos native language Michelson also provides a way to formally verify smart contracts. So uh, smart contracts holds a lot of value. It might currently they are holding billions of dollars, and when you're writing smart contracts, you want to make sure, because at the end you are writing a code, and you want to make sure that your code is secure enough to handle that amount of money. And formal verification is a concept in the software software space, which means that you verify your code mathematically to prove its correctness. So there are some methods to do the formal verification, and once you have formally verified any code or smart contracts, that would mean that there is no possibility of any hack or any bug whatsoever. And in Tezos, you have that option to formally verify your smart contracts. So those who are not familiar with blockchain, I'll just give a rough idea. And anyway, I'm gonna give you some very quick links after the end of session so that you can go through and revise all your concepts. So blockchain is nothing but a database. So currently, I'm sure you guys are all familiar with database. Blockchain is a database which stores transactions, and whenever transaction happens between two parties, it reduce the amount from one party and increase the amount for a second party. So that's pretty much sounds like a database. But then what blockchain enables is this. You can also look at it as decentralized distributed database. So currently in the Web 2.0, or the current internet era that we are living in, which is transforming now, most of the databases are centralized. So for example, I use Amazon Pay in India. So now the developer of Amazon Pay, they can go in the backend of my account, and they can decrease the amount whatever I'm holding in Amazon Pay, or they can increase their amount. Which is obviously they don't do that, but it is possible, pretty much possible. And sometimes you might have heard of the cases where this has been the case. So that makes it centralized. Now, what blockchain does is make the database or the way you are storing and recording transactions decentralized. So there is no central authority over it, and so in blockchain you have a set of nodes. You can say that as a server or database nodes distributed across the world, and whenever you want to update any the state of the database, or if you want to update any balance of any account, all the nodes across the world have to come into consensus that and check with each other that there has been no double spending. So that would mean that uh, to one node, I'm sending a transaction that increased my balance from $1,000 to $2,000, and in some other node, I'm sending my transaction that increased my balance from $1,000 to $5,000, and then all those node comes into consensus using a peer-to-peer protocol, peer-to-peer manner, and they check if what I'm saying is true. If it's true, then they update the state of my account. But if I made some faulty transactions here and there, they just don't accept it and don't increase the balance of my account. So that's like upgrading the state of the ledger or the database. That's pretty much what blockchain is actually. Now you can look at it. You can go into uh, the architecture of blockchain. It's basically like a linked list. It's a chain of blocks. So each block records some uh, transaction data, and when one block is filled, there comes another block which records some transactional data. Then comes another block which which fills some transactional data. So that's what blockchain is in a brief manner. If you are interested, you can deep dive. There are multiple great sources on internet. Then comes the liquid proof of stake, which uh, I just talked about how all the nodes, all the database node, all the blockchain nodes have to come into consensus. Now, this is the concept in Tezos. Every blockchain has different kind of concept, but this is the concept in Tezos, which enables them to come into consensus. So now what happens is, uh, so right now I haven't talked about anything regarding the cryptocurrency, or just talking about normal blockchain. So liquid proof of stake means in the blockchain, in a public blockchain network, to govern that protocol, you need to have some sort of token. You need to have some stake in the network. So for that, these public networks have something called cryptocurrencies. In Tezos, you have Tez, which is called Tezos' native token, and all the people across the world hold some amount of Tez. So like some are holding in. You can check that statistics out on some website, but there are a lot of nodes across the world, distributed globally, who are holding some amount of Tez. And those who hold uh, 8,000 days, more than 8,000 days, they can become a node. And what they do is the node becomes sort of like a miner. So in Bitcoin, you have miners which use GPUs and heavily computed machines to mine the transactions from Bitcoin network. In Tezos, you have bakers uh, who perform the same function as miner, but in using liquid proof of stake, so that uh, the mining the mining is done as per what amount of stake they hold in Tezos. It might sound for those who are not familiar with blockchain, it all might sound a lot of complicated stuff, but trust me, you're gonna get it all. So that is what liquid proof of stake is. It basically is a framework to create blocks, to create the blockchain, and then there are some economic concepts behind it, like inflation and how much block rewards are per block, how many block rewards are there, endorsement rewards are there, which is not something for you to get into deeper right now. If you are just looking forward to learn, to see how to build your project in hackathon. But if anybody is interested, we will also share a Telegram group later on where you can ask all the details, any question, whenever you have any, to us. Now, let me give you a low-level overview of Tezos software architecture, what how Tezos looks like, and how it is very modular blockchain, one of the modest blockchain out there. So this is how Tezos looks like in a nutshell. So let me, you can see the protocol. So I'm gonna demystify it for you. The blue part that you are seeing, it looks like octopus, right? So that is what we call a shell. And then in the blue part, you are seeing something in green, which is called protocol. Now, protocol is the brain of this octopus, which we are calling shell. And then on left hand side, you are seeing compiler, protocol interface, stuff like that. And then on right hand side, you are seeing RPC, client, baker, and explorer. So this is pretty much all how a Tezos node looks like. In the shell, you have a P2P layer, which talks to other nodes using P2P gossip protocol. And then you have validator, which we also call baker or miner, you could call it. And they validate the transaction and create the new blocks. And then there is the brain of this octopus, which is called protocol, and it has all the rules of how to do a transaction, how should the language of Tezos work, and all the different kind of stuff. So that's why when I said this Tezos can upgrade itself, that means whenever there is a new feature add or any new advancement, this octopus can update, or this shell can upgrade its brain, which is the green part protocol, by using a voting mechanism, on-chain voting mechanism. So whenever the uh, required amount of vote and the quorum is reached, this mind gets updated itself overnight, which is fascinating to see a software upgrading itself. Tezos is written in OCaml. OCaml is a functional programming language, uh, which highly typed, strongly typed. So I hope you guys got some idea what smart contracts are, but still I'll let you read through it. Smart contracts are nothing but just scripts stored on blockchain, which is a database. And in those scripts, you can define custom rules and conditions for various purposes, right? So like you can write a script on blockchain for an escrow account that whenever 31st of a month, whenever the 15th September, or let's say 15th December, whenever the date is 15th December and the time is 5 p.m., the escrow contract or this escrow script will automatically pay out to, let's say, party A, whatever amount was pre-agreed upon. So that's one example of smart contracts. Then you can also create insurance-like contracts. So there is a smart contract which is measuring the wind speed in a particular zone, and whenever the wind speed is more than required, so let's say whenever the wind speed hits 90 kilometer per hour, that means there is a cyclone or something, and that contract automatically pays out to the area affected by uh, that cyclone in that particular zone using some APIs, which is available on Google Maps and weather data. And it automatically pays out to those people who are stuck in those areas. And that completely removes the need of a middleman like insurance companies. Uh, and then you can also virtually or physically tokenize some assets. So that would mean that you can you can put your artwork as a token on a blockchain, and then anybody in the world can have some fractional ownership in that artwork, Uh, so if I want, let's say 25% ownership in that artwork, I can do that by just buying those tokens, which represents the value of that artwork. So there are various use cases of blockchain in multiple sectors, which you can explore. Now, as I said, Tezos is a programmable money. Bitcoin is also a programmable money, but Bitcoin has its language called script, which enables transaction processing, but it's not Turing complete. So not everything is possible on in Bitcoin. Not a lot of things are possible. But in Tezos, uh, you have its native language called Michelson for to to program your smart contracts, to program your Tez cryptocurrency. And Michelson is Turing complete, and it's very safe and secure. And it's a machine level like language, something like assembly, and it runs on Tezos virtual machine. But Michelson is hard to understand, and not you need to be very advanced developer in order to get very familiar with Michelson. So for that, then there are higher level languages such as Smartpy, which compiles down to Michelson and let you write smart contracts in Tezos in a very easy manner. So that's what Smartpy is. Now we are going to talk about Smartpy. So Smartpy is a Python library for constructing Tezos smart contracts. It comes with a compiler that generates Michelson code, and that Michelson code runs on Tezos virtual machine. You don't need to run any node, any server, any Tezos node or any Tezos server, because there are a lot of online public RPCs available which lets you do that. So you don't need to run any kind of infrastructure of your own other than what you generally do by just launching a local host server for deployments. So it's an intuitive, very effective smart contract language. Uh, Now we are calling it a language, but Smartpy essentially is a Python library. So how it does it? It defines some smart contracts primitives that are used in Tezos using its smart ML engine, and then user can leverage all the power of Python, like data structure, libraries, all the parameters, and ultimately they are targeting to write a smart contracts in Michelson, or that contract will be eventually compiled down to Michelson. So that's why Smartpy is one of the most popular language in Tezos ecosystem, because you can use all the features and all the various things that currently exist in the Python, and then you can also use the parameters or the primitives of Michelson, and then you combine it down, and you can write some very powerful smart contract code to run on Tezos virtual machine. This is what happening behind the scene, because some of you might have doubt that Smartpy is a library, Python library, while Michelson is written in while Tezos is written in OCaml, and Michelson is also a functional programming language. It's a machine level like language. So how does it all compiles down to Michelson? So once you have written the Smartpy code, it compiles down to Smart ML actually. So Smart ML then interacts with the OCaml library, which is called Smart Engine, and then the interaction with Michelson is handled using a script. So basically, Python compiles down to SmartML. SmartML is linked to an OCaml library, and then there are scripts will help interacting with. There are scripts which help manipulating those code to compiles down to Michelson. Now, how to start with Smartpy? Uh, Let me share my screen again. I'll show you how can you. here. So you can go to smartpy.io, which is Smartpy website, and it will give you pretty much overview of what Smartpy is, and you can get a basic understanding. It will just take like 5 to 6 minutes to go through the content. You can see that it's nothing but just Python, and okay, I'll wait for uh, I'll wait for it to open up. Meanwhile, for those who are interested in SmartPy and who want to get it, those who already know Python and want to learn SmartPy as fast as possible, for those who we have supported uh, supported an entity which creates the SmartPy Tezos course, and it's very easy and very interactive. So you can go to cryptocodeschool.in, and here you can enter in smart learn how to learn, and you will it's an interactive code school where you have to build your bot to fight some wars. And if you are already familiar with Python, I'm sure you will be able to finish it within an hour or within 1.5 hours, or maybe somebody will who already had some idea about can finish it within half an hour. So here, as you go, you will be given some information about what is blockchain, what is smart contracts, and that will help you to go along. And it's very easy and very simple course. You don't have to write any complex smart contracts, and then you will be ready to run your contract on to write your contracts on SmartPy online editor. So smartpy.io/dev, it is an online editor where you can write your smart contract code. And yeah, here you can see. So if you can see, you import SmartPy as a library, and as you do generally in the Python, and then you can load any template if you want to experiment with it. Then you define a class, you initiate a function, and like pretty much you do in the SmartPy, and then you you write this sp.entry point. So what is an entry point is entry points are function in Tezos smart contracts which you can call to do some transactions or perform some perf- perform some feed functions. So now here what things are different are sp.entry point and sp.verify. So these things you might be seeing sp.addTest. So this comes with the library. So you with sp.entry point you define an entry point, and with sp.addTest you can also define some test. And what is best part about SmartPy is you write your contracts in the way you do in the Python using using this library, and then you can also integrate test within the same code. You don't have to write some another code script which you have to do sometimes in different blockchains. You can define all of your test case scenario within this code, and you can see if all of your code is working as expected. And in this code, you can then put some static values to just test it out. And on the right hand side, you can see how each of this how each part of this code is functioning. And you can create transactions here as well, and this will show you that so here you have defined all of your test scenarios, and this is giving you a result on a real time that how those tests are performing. And then here you get to see the Michelson contract. This is what actually Michelson contract looks like when Smartpy compiles down to Michelson. You don't have to worry about this because if you are writing in smart contract. And then you can, if you want, you can also deploy this contract. But all of these things you will get to know in the link that I shared, the Cryptoverse board. It will take you hardly 1 or 2 hours to get familiar with all of this stuff. It's taking some time. Anyway, let me uh, let me just try to come to a conclusion and what you guys can do next to get familiar with SmartPy easily. I would very much recommend you to go to cryptocodeschool.in and start learning basic concepts of SmartPy. And you will, those who don't know blockchain, it will also help them to learn them as soon as possible. And those who already know blockchain, Python, and all, it will take you hardly half an hour or something like that to get through all the stuff like what are accounts and what does accounts look like, and and how to define tests and all those other stuff that you would require in order to write a contract. And then when you want to finally build your project, what you would need is SmartPy, which you'll already know, and then you would need client-side libraries to interact with the Tezos protocol. So, for example, let's say you want to retrieve the balance of an account, right? So, for that, you have to use PyTezos or Taquito. So, if those who are very familiar with JavaScript, you can use Taquito, and those who are very well versed with Python, you can use PyThetos. And both of these are very powerful libraries which will help you query the blockchain to get any account, get any balance, or get status of any transaction, stuff like that. For those who want some more material or more information, who just want to explore it out, you can go to developers.tezos.com and you can see a whole bunch of varieties of developer resources in different languages like Go, Java, JavaScript, Python. There are a lot of stuff in Python. And then for writing your smart contracts, you can always go to smartpy.io/dev. And to learn SmartPy within just a matter of minutes or some hour and a half, you can go to cryptocodeschool.in and you can finish your courses. And for the community help, so we are always 24 or 7 days active. So SmartPy has its own Telegram group where a lot of people from across the world, and somebody is always online to help you out to learn anything or if you're facing any issue. But apart from that, we have also created one Telegram group specially for this hackathon. So you can join that and you can ask any question that you might have. Apart from that, we also have a Telegram group, especially for this Cryptoverse Wars, that interactive code school to learn SmartPy, which you can also join and you can ask any question, anytime, any doubts, whenever you have to us. And we are basically 24/7 active. Now, now what you can do next is if I want to recommend is you can go to cryptocodeschool.in and within next 1 hour or 1 hour and a half, you can finish it off. There are just, I guess, 10 chapters to learn the basics. and then you can go to the IDE. You can select any template. There are a lot of templates like tic-tac-toe if you want to build a game. Then there are escrow templates and some different kind of other templates which you can choose, and you can experiment with them. You can modify some parameters and you can create some contracts. And then you can go to Tezos library, and it's by Baking Bread, and they also have some series of articles that how you can interact with Tezos. And if you want to run it locally, if you want to play on Google Colab, so all of those stuff, or you can just ask us in the group that how do we start, or how if you are facing any problems. So yeah, that was all about Tezos, blockchain, Smartpy, and how you can start with Smartpy using different resources. And thank you guys very much for listening to me. And I know some of you who are not familiar with blockchain might have to go through all these um, heavy words, proof of stake and transactions and all the other stuff. But still, I would, I'm very sure that if you are willing to give 2 to 3 hours to just go through this stuff, what is blockchain, then this SmartPy course, and then ask some doubts to us in the Telegram group, and we are also active there. If you have any project idea, we can help you redefine it, you can, or fine tune it, and we can help you to try out other stuff as well, any issues, doubts that you might have. And really looking forward to what you guys built in this hackathon. And yeah, very excited for this event overall. And again, thank you to the entire team of PyCon, and everybody who has listened to me. You can Our team will be sharing the details about all the Telegram groups and the links later on. And we already have some people active there. We already have some mentors there. So if you need any external help, or if you need any debugging in your code, happy to help. Thank you guys. Thanks a lot again for having me here. And if you have any questions, um, feel free to ask me. If you think that there are no more questions, or if you can find some question later on, you can ask me on Telegram group as well. But still, I would want some questions to be thrown at me here. If you guys have any questions, you can ask me. Even if it's about blockchain or Tezos, any newbie question or any advanced question, probably. Yeah, other thing that I would want to mention is once you learn SmartPy, we will have active engagement with Python communities around the globe and in the Python areas, and a lot of great stuff will keep coming out. So stay tuned, stay active, and stay active within the Tezos developer community as well. Once you have learned the SmartPy, and if any advice or anything else you want, feel free to hit me up. All right. I see no questions there, but still, I'll be very active for next 2 or 3 days. Me and my colleagues and other developers on the Telegram group. That the links and other information, or maybe this slide with the links, will also be shared with you after this event. And again, thank you very much, guys, for having me. Have a great time, guys. Bye.